Hi, I'm Nico Nierenberg, the CEO of Persist, and I'm very pleased to present this preview of Persyst Mobile. Persyst Mobile is our new application for iOS. It will run on systems from the iPhone 6 up to a very large iPad Pro, and it is designed to provide you access to the EEG records that are present on your servers. And it can access records that are currently being acquired for monitoring purposes, or you can use it for review of records that have already been acquired. And as with all Persist systems, it works across records from different manufacturers and can provide a unified view of the records that are stored on your servers. So before I talk more about those things, let me just go ahead and get started. There is security on Persyst Mobile, so username and password is required, and we keep track of what the users are doing so that you can have that information. And I'm just obviously logging in with a demonstration username and password, but on your system you would be able to determine usernames and create usernames and passwords for the different users who will be accessing Persyst Mobile. So the first thing you see here is a list of the records, the patient names for the records that are on your server. And as you can see also, we've organized them by unit, and this is a new kind of concept in Persist. Given that you might have a very large number of records, this would let you determine that they're in different groups, and you can hide groups that you're not currently interested in using the little arrows there. This is optional. If you don't have that many records, you don't have to have units, but you could assign units to particular acquisition device or to particular patients, and then you can focus in on the ones that you're interested in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select a particular patient record, Jonathan Jones, and when I do that, the list of comments for the record appears on the right-hand side. And you can see it works backward in time from the current end of the record, and I can scroll down and see all these different elements in the record. Now, of course, you're probably not interested in seeing every spike detection, or you might be, but probably not. And so we have a set of filters for the comments, and by clicking here I can pick filters, and I'm picking one that's our system default right now, which is a default notification filter. And this is designed to look for things like patient events or seizures. But you can add new filters to the system, and so you can screen for comments that you might be interested in, or comments that are entered at your facility for certain reasons, or notifications that are created by the Persist system. It's totally up to you what the set of notifications are that can be used. And what we're looking at now is a patient list view. There are some other ways to look at the sets of patients that are on your server, and I'll come back to that, but right now I'm just going to walk you all the way through sort of the capabilities of what we can do on a particular record. And to do that, I'm just going to click on one of the seizure detections here. And what that does is it moves immediately to the Persist Trends view for that patient. And as you can see, this is the classic Persist Trends, and I can simply scroll the trends back and forth. This is a 2-hour view right now. I'll show you how you can change that in a minute, but you can scroll the trends back and forth like that. I can move through the trends using the slider at the bottom of the screen here. And I can also move this cursor to a particular point in time, for example, right at the start of the seizure, which of course the comment already took us to, but I'm moving back to it now. Once you are at a point in time with that cursor, then you can press on the Show EEG button, and that will take you to the EEG at that point in time. And again, just like for the trends, I can just scroll through that to scroll back, for example, in this case, to the start of the seizure. Now on the EEG, I have the usual options that one would expect from an EEG display. So I can open the settings here, And I can, for example, change the sensitivity from 7 to 10 microvolts. And then that will redisplay that way. Or I go back to 7 here. Or I can change the montage and go to a referential montage here. And of course, look at the record using that montage. Or, of course, I can turn artifact reduction off and on, just like that. And filters and the other things here are all available. So you have your usual EEG settings and you can move through the record. I can also work with the comments that are in the record. For example, I can move to this part of the record and see that these different comments are here and pick ones out to maybe modify. I can add and delete comments. For example, if I want to add a comment at this part of the record, I can click here and I can move the cursor here to the point I want, and I can add a comment. And I can even set a duration for that comment by doing this. You can see the little line at the bottom of the screen is indicating the duration of the comment. And then I can just add that. Now this comment has been added to the record. Or I can click here and go ahead and delete that comment that I've just added. And the comment is gone. You can also modify comments and examine them the way I showed earlier. And just like on the trends page, I can pick a different part of the record just by moving this slider here, and it will move to that point in time which is being displayed on the middle of the screen and show me the EEG for that. Then when I navigate back to the trends, of course I'm now at that point in time, the point in time that I selected. On the trends, similarly, I can change settings. So for example, I can pick the panel that I'm interested in, such as an AEG panel, or I can pick a peak envelope panel, which just has different trends that the user has selected, just like on your on your Persist client, your regular Persist client, or very specialized things, for example, like asymmetry here, to show you that. Going back to comprehensive, I can also, of course, change the amount of time that's displayed. So I can zoom into, for example, a 1-hour display here and see things much closer up. So all these features are available, and they're very similar to what's available on the regular Persist client when you're accessing the record. But there are some features that are actually new and quite important. So I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to go to the EMU records here, and I'm going to go to Ingrid Johansson's record. And it's accessing the different parts of the record, but I can immediately go ahead and just navigate to that record. And we're looking again at a 1-hour view, which looks very similar to what we saw before, but something very different is going to happen if I move out to, for example, 8 hours here. So these little dotted lines are an indication that those are actually the underlying records. So in this case, this record was recorded in 2-hour segments, and we have put those 2-hour segments together to show you a continuous record for this patient. So you can look in this case at, as I showed you, 8 hours at a time of the data, even though these are actually individual separate records that were recorded. And this works even if these are 3 days of records recorded 24 hours at a time, or really any other segment length you want. Persyst Mobile will assemble that into a single view of the trends and a single view of the EEG. So I'm moving now to a point in the EEG, And now I'm moving into, let's say, back to a 1 hour view. And now we see that seizure that we saw on the 8 hour view up close. I can go to the EEG for this record, which is made up of, again, of all these different segments. And I can move anywhere from the 17th here all the way up to the 18th or the 19th. So even though this was recorded in 2 hour pieces, the EEG is continuous across all of these records. And I can look at different segments without having to open and close dozens of records or several records in the case of 24-hour recordings. So this is a very powerful feature of Persyst Mobile that is brand new for Persist on any platform, actually. So moving back, another capability of Persyst Mobile is the ability to show you video. And this may be a familiar name here, which is my name. And this is a 30-minute recording, routine EEG that was done on me for this purpose. And I'm going to navigate to the beginning of that record. And now navigate to a particular point in the EEG, which you can see from the slowing on the trends was due to the fact that I was doing hyperventilation. And now we'll go to that part of the EEG, and I'll go ahead and open the video view. And so this video view is available for Persyst Mobile for any record that has associated video. And I can go ahead and play that. So that's playing this video and showing you the synchronized EEG for that video. And you can go to a full screen view for the video, and you can actually pinch and zoom. This isn't very high resolution video, but you get the idea of the ability to pinch and zoom and move, pan to different portions of it, and then you can go back to the regular view of video as well. So the video capability will be there in case that is something that's required for your review. So going back then to the patient views again, I've been showing you the patient list, and that is one way to look at the set of patients, but another way is the patient monitoring view. And in the patient monitoring view, what we show you is the last period of trends for that patient, and you can see what's going on, and this gets updated as the records are updated if they're being acquired at that time. And I'm going to go back to the Ingrid Johansson record just by tapping on it here. And recall that this record is one that's made up of multiple segments of recorded records. And I'm going to move the time scale out to 4 hours. So again, you see that record boundary there where the record was recorded. You see it every 2 hours there. And then moving back to the patient views, so I've changed that time scale to 4 hours. Moving back to the patient views, I'm just going to quickly refresh that. And now you'll see that it's showing 4 hours. So the panel that is shown for each patient and the time interval that is shown for each patient is according to how you have last set it on the trends page for that patient. So you can be monitoring different things in different time spans for different patients and simply go in here and get a good look at the trends. And then if you see something on the trends that you're interested in, as I've shown you, you can just tap on the trends and move to that position. Another view for patients that we have is what we call the notifications view. And what this does is shows you based on the filter that you've set, and you can see on the top left here, this is based on the default notification. It will show you the patient with the most recent, and the times here are not realistic because the records are not in real time, but I think you can get the idea. It'll show you the patients in order of which patient had the most recent notification, and you can simply look through the records here. And if you navigate to the record like this, for that particular event, then when you navigate back, we've turned off the little blue dot there to indicate that you've already taken a look at that, so it can keep track of which of these notifications you've looked at. And if you decide you want to see it again, all you have to do is tap on it. Or if you simply want to say, oh, I don't really care about those, I've already seen them, you can just go ahead and turn those off. And the system will remember that those notifications have been already viewed. So another one last detail is that Persyst Mobile does support Touch ID. So if I leave the application and then I decide I want to navigate back, maybe to do something else, and then I decide I want to navigate back, then when I come back in, it does Touch ID, and you can re-identify yourself to the system, and it will take you back to where you were navigating before. Touch ID is optional, obviously. The alternative is to log in each time, but obviously it's much quicker to use Touch ID to get back into your monitoring than to log into the system. So this has been a very quick overview of the Persyst mobile app. If you would like many more in-depth information, obviously we'd be happy to tell you about it. And also for customers that are currently on Persyst support, we are looking for people to give this a try. So just let us know. Thank you very much.